If you're looking for the quick and dirty response to this question, then yes, you absolutely can include bread on a plant-based or vegan diet, given that it doesn't hold things such as eggs or dairy, which can commonly be found in commercial breads. I'm going to be going over some reasons why you may want to exclude bread, even if you are plant-based or vegan. I'm Carly, for anybody who's new here. I'm a plant-based nutritionist. I've also been vegan myself for the past 5 years, and I've been gluten-free for the past 10. So just to give you a little background where I'm coming from and why I'm so passionate about this dietary style. So some reasons why you may want to exclude bread from your diet is, for one, it's a processed food. So the more you process an item from its whole intact form, the more you're removing its nutritional components, things like fiber, antioxidants, phytochemicals, vitamins and minerals, water, things of that nature. All the healthy things that our bodies require on a day-to-day basis to function healthfully. You can, however, include some less processed varieties of bread in your diet and still be ingesting, a semi-healthful food. So for instance, sprouted breads are less processed, or things like sourdough, which are fermented by bacteria as opposed to yeast, and increases the nutritional profile of that bread. Oat bread and flax bread tend to be healthier versions. There are also healthy gluten-free versions of breads, which is my next point. If you are gluten intolerant, gluten sensitive, or have a wheat allergy, you want to refrain from including breads that contain things like wheat, rye, barley, triticale, kamut. Those all contain the protein that's going to trigger your intolerance or your sensitivity. I should have excluded wheat, because wheat is specific to wheat itself, not the other rye, barley, triticale, kamut, and the rest of those constituents. If your goal is to take on this diet for health reasons, then you may want to exclude bread, at least initially, until you get your health under control, and then you slowly, reincorporate some less processed breads and see how your body responds. Or if you're doing this for weight loss reasons, then again, I would exclude bread initially, at least, because bread is a higher caloric food with less nutrition. So obviously in a weight loss plan, you're gonna wanna get the opposite of that, more nutrition for less food or less calories. So those are the two biggest reasons I would exclude bread from your diet. I personally don't eat bread, at least not often, maybe once, twice a year, simply because I have celiac disease so severely. So I've just grown accustomed to keeping that out of my diet. I've also been incorporating more of a raw food vegan diet into my dietary pattern lately, and it seems to be working better for me. It all depends on your specific situation. So if you are interested in learning more about gluten intolerance, sensitivity, or wheat allergy, I have an entire article written about this on my blog. I'll also link that down below. Reasons to include bread on a plant-based diet. Bottom line, if this is going to help you to comply and to stick with this diet, then absolutely include bread. If bread is something you've had your entire life and you have no idea how to go about living without it, then sure, keep bread in your diet. Just like I mentioned, choose some of those healthier varieties and you will have no problems. To obtain some of these healthier varieties, you may need to shop online or look at places like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, or in the freezer section of your local supermarket. That's where you'll typically find these healthier options. Some healthy homemade breads can also be a good option. I will link below a recipe that I've used recently that includes just sweet potatoes and oat flour. Otherwise, if you want to include things like hummus and some nut butters, maybe cucumbers, radishes, avocado, things of that nature on top of the bread, then you'll absolutely decrease the insulin response that your body's going to kick back by consuming breads. Because of the additional fiber, you'll help to mitigate that response. Wrapping up, absolutely bread can be vegan or plant-based as long as it doesn't include eggs or dairy. But there are some other reasons I think I've given you to think about on whether or not you want to include bread, regardless of whether or not they're plant-based or vegan. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.